Hey everyone, what's up? It's LookShifter here. Hope you all doing amazing. Welcome to a new video where today we're on Loomian Legacy, a game on Roblox. And this is going to be an overview of the game. I was thinking of jumping straight into the PvP content that I was planning to do, but I realized that since I'm not going to be really doing my main content, which was Murder Mystery 2, and a lot of you guys that are currently subscribed to me or know me from Murder Mystery 2, know me from that side of stuff. So I decided it might be a good idea to make an overview video of what this game is about, how to play, so you guys can get a better understanding of the game that I'm playing, because I feel like that might help. And to anyone that's just generally curious about the game and want to get into it, this video should hopefully help you out. Now just note that I don't want to make this video too long, so there is going to be a few things that are important, but I'm going to leave out because I feel like you wouldn't need to know that a lot at the moment. Just you'll kind of learn as I make videos and as you play the game. And with that being said, let's just get straight into the video. So what is Loomian Legacy? It is a creature capturing game on Roblox where you go around through the main story of the game and go into the wild areas, such as this. You go into different routes and you can run in patches of grass here, and you can encounter wild Loomians, which are basically the creatures or monsters, whatever you want to call them, in this game. And what you can do is you can battle them, and every time you do that, you'll level up. And basically, as the more levels you get, the stronger your Loomians get. Basically, when they level up, they learn new moves. They sometimes evolve. You can also catch wild Loomians as well. So if you do encounter one that you really like and you think, hey, that's pretty cool, I'll catch it, then you can easily just use your capture disc and they will be added to your team, and you can use those Loomians to then battle NPC trainers that are on the route. And the gameplay is actually pretty good. As you can see, it escaped there, so that's a rip. But you get the picture. And there's a lot more to the game as well, where you can there's actually trading in this game. You can trade Loomians to other players. You can battle other Roblox players, which is pretty fun, which is mainly what I'm going to be doing for my main content, is just going to be showcasing a Loomian and using that Loomian in battles against other players and their teams. So when you start the game, you will spawn in that blue house at the end up here, and then you'll have to go to the dig site, which is through here, and then go to the laboratory, which is here, and then you basically get the option to pick your beginner or starter Loomian, which is what you're going to start off with. Keep in mind that you can't trade that Loomian. That's just, or you can't even release it either, so it's just a Loomian that you're going to have to keep forever. That's pretty much how you play the game. I know it was very, very brief, but again, I didn't want to make the video too long. And I'm now going to get more into the specifics. So a Loomian contains these properties. So you've got the Loomian itself, its typings, which is in this case Dark Spirit. Each Loomian has a personality. It can be any combination of a very positive personality and 2 negative personality traits, which in this case, this is what it is. You've also got the option for 2 positive personality traits and 1 really negative trait. There's also a combination where you've got a pure positive trait, but it's not as strong in the positive trait. You've also got a pure negative trait, and you've also got the usual, which is most common, is just a positive and a negative. And then each Loomian can also have an item held, which basically kind of gives you an advantage in battle. It can be anything from a damage increasing item to something that maybe if you're hit by a super effective move, it increases your stats, like your attack stat, by 2 stages or whatever. And each Loomian has an ability. So this ability is obviously different for each Loomian. Sometimes Loomians share the same ability, but in this case, what it does is raises your attack type bonus from 25% to 50%. So basically, since Vesperatu here is a Dark and Spirit type, its Dark and Spirit moves will get a 50% increase in damage, as opposed to the usual 25% that it gets. And so again, these are also the movesets. Each Loomian has movesets. It's usually 4 moves. They can have less though if needed. And then the more complex stuff, in my opinion, is stats. So I'm going to go kind of in depth here, but if this kind of flies over your head, don't worry. It will become easier to learn this as I guess you play the game or you get more familiar with it. But basically, each Loomian has a health stat, an energy stat, a melee attack, melee defense, range attack, range defense, and speed stat. So what does that mean? So health is basically just the hit points of the Loomian. So in this case, yeah, you can see that Vesperatu has 161 hit points. And so that's basically how much damage the Loomian is able to take before it faints. So when it gets knocked out, you have to basically heal it at either a Lumi center, or you can just buy medicines and heal them that way. So for instance, you've got yeah, like a small med or something that you can use to heal it. I'm not going to go too in depth with the items, but as I was saying, yeah, so health is basically HP. Energy is basically is what you need to worry about when you're using moves. So if we go back to the moves, we can see that each move has an EC attached to it, which is basically energy cost. So that means this move, for instance, uses 45 energy. This move uses 50 and so on. And you basically need energy to use your moves. Otherwise, if you run out of energy and you want to use one of these moves, you will flail. And what that means is you will hit the opponent, but for little damage, depending on your melee attack stat. I think it takes into your melee attack stat the damage you do to the opponent. It obviously won't be as strong as using like this move if you had energy, but it also damage you a little bit in the process as well. So sometimes it is better to flail in certain situations, but usually you want to go for a wait or a rest. So for instance, what that looks like is if we get into an encounter and say, you know, I had like really low energy, couldn't use anything, then I have to go for a wait or a rest. The difference between a wait and a rest is that wait gives you a little bit of energy recovery. Rest gives you a lot more, but it decreases your defense for that turn. So you will take more damage in that turn if you go for a rest, because you're kind of letting your guard down to do it, to get more energy. So it's a bit of a strategic thing that you kind of have to do. So in this case, you can see Vesperatu has 257 energy. It's obviously different for every Loomian. Every Loomian has a different numbers in their stats. So moving on to melee attack. This is obviously the stat corresponding to attacks that hit close up. So for instance, yeah, as you can see, these moves say melee on them. That means this takes in consideration with the melee attack stat. I'm going to skip over the defense for now, but like it's similar to the range attack, but obviously if I go to a ranged Loomian here with the ranged moves, yeah, you can see it's ranged, so that takes in account the range stat. Basically, those are the two different types of attacks. You've got melee and ranged. Each stat corresponds to the type of move that it is. So if it's a melee move, you'll obviously be tied in with the melee attack stat, and then ranged move will be tied in with the ranged attack stat. With the melee defenses, it's kind of as it sounds like. So melee defense is how well it can tank a melee move. So if a Loomian has a really high melee defense stat, it's going to tank melee moves a little better. Similarly, range defense, obviously how well a Loomian can tank ranged moves. And then speed is just the stat that's used to determine which Loomian goes first in the battle. So basically, if you're in a battle, obviously I'm going to outspeed this Twilight because firstly it's level 2, but what's more important is the fact that my speed is just a lot higher. So that means in this turn I will move first. So that's what the speed starts for. Obviously there's a huge advantage going first. Sometimes it's probably bad going first, especially if you want to like pivot out of the battle into something that's more offensive. But that's what the speed is for. Speed is just to determine which Loomian goes first in the turn. Those are the stats that each Loomian has. Obviously they're all different Loomian to Loomian, and yeah, that's pretty much all that I wanted to explain in this video. Obviously there are more important things that you should know, like typing wise, what types are good against what typing is weak to what, that kind of thing, and UPs and TPs, what does that mean? I'm not going to explain that in this video. I just wanted it to be a brief overview or just explaining the main concepts of the game for new players especially, because this stuff can be quite confusing, especially the typings, like type effectiveness. So I'm going to leave that out, but if there are people that generally do want me to go over like the typings or UPs and TPs, then let me know, and I will probably I'll be more than happy to make a separate video discussing those. But at this stage, I'm probably going to leave it off here. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If there was anything that you didn't quite understand, feel free to comment in the comment section down below. I do read the comments, so if there's anything that I can answer, I will reply to your comment. Sorry if any of these things kind of went over your head. It is quite a lot to know, especially when you like don't know anything about creature capturing games in general, like you've never played Pokemon or anything like that. Then it is kind of a lot to get a hold of. I wouldn't say I'm good at the game at all. I'm actually very new to PvP battles, so that's what I'll be doing for my main content, so that should be pretty fun to watch, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna leave it off here. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.